Hey, what's going on, everyone? Misha Wilson here, and welcome to part 3 of my interview with the $50 million man, Tim Erway. Now, if you missed part 1 or part 2, please go back before watching this video and watch part 1 and watch part 2. I'll leave links to both of those episodes below in the actual description of this YouTube video. Please go back and watch those episodes. In part 1, I explain who Tim is, why you should listen to Tim, and why I listen to Tim whenever Tim speaks. And Tim kind of gives you, what's worked for him in his entrepreneurship journey. And then in part 2, we just once again take that to the next level and beyond, describing, our tactics, our strategies that we use to drive sales, to create profit, to really capitalize upon the online market and grow extremely healthy businesses with internet marketing. And if you dive into part 3 without going through part 1 or part 2, it won't make nearly as much sense and you won't get nearly as much value. So please go back, watch part 1, watch part 2, and then as always, if you get value out of this video, don't forget to let me know what your biggest comment is, biggest takeaway is, with a comment directly below in the comment section. I love reading each and every single comment. I try to reply to each and every single one as well. And with that said, hit that subscribe and bell icon notification button if you get value. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. My next question, you're in a unique kind of category of one of those individuals who I feel like there's a lot of people out there who have created success, and there are very few people who have created success and managed to have their students over and over and over again go out and create success on their own with their own businesses. And you're one of the people who have literally really created a movement with your first original attraction marketing. You're the godfather of attraction marketing. Who here has heard of attraction marketing in the room? I didn't mention in the first introduction, but Tim is essentially the founder of attraction marketing. We've talked about Mike Dillard a few times over the course of the weekend. Tim was Mike Dillard's original mentor. We've talked about the power of mentorship throughout the entire weekend. Tim has been the mentor to so many people who have created such an impact in this industry. And what's kind of the difference that you see between the individual who is successful and the person who isn't? Because what I say is that, again, we give the same tactics and the same strategies in our courses and our mentorship programs to everyone. But some people go out and crush it, and some people don't. And what do you see in the people who really go out and crush it?
Great question. I love good questions. So first of all, I didn't do any of that. I appreciate it, but I didn't do it, and that's the key. They did it. And a true mentor measures his success in his ability to help, not do, help his students, his or her students have results and have success. And that doesn't come from spoon-feeding information. It comes from teaching people leadership. Huge difference between, again, tactical and technique and leadership and mentorship. Very, very different. True mentorship is about empowering and imbuing skills and behaviors that create real and lasting results, that help people, instead of just giving them the answer, to become resourceful and figure out things for themselves. And so that's, I think, the key for me is if you ask me a question, usually I'm going to ask you a question back. And it pisses people off, and I'm not trying to be like a annoying Zen type person. I'm just wanting to help, and this I learned from one of my mentors, Blair Dunkley, Melissa Dunkley. They're my mentors. They're awesome, amazing people. Is that results don't come from giving people answers. It comes from asking effective questions. Yep. And so when I have anything that I need to solve, I don't look for a better answer. I actually look for what's a more effective question. Yep. And I teach other people how to do the same thing. And yeah, I have to fill in a little bit, but in order to ensure that they get it, I have to ask questions. So what did you understand about that? So actually, let's do this right now. Can we just do something really quick? Can you turn to your neighbor and explain to them in your own words the difference between, your feeling of the difference between a tactic and a strategy? Go ahead. were falling asleep.
I know, a little bit. A little bit.
You can give an example if you'd like. "15 seconds. "5 seconds. Stop. It took you way too long to explain that. Clearly you're not getting this. I'm just kidding. So what do you think I did that for? To engage you and wake you up, but because you guys were like, that was one reason, but there's another reason. What do you think that was? It caused you to think, because you had to put it in your own words. So you had to process what you thought strategy and tactics meant to you, right? So do you think that that's a more effective way to teach than to just tell people information? Yes. Now here's the cool thing. Raise your hand if you got a lot of valuable information this last few days. Absolutely. And it's awesome. But until you distill that information and you take that and you go, okay, where am I really now? Like what is true now? Where do I want to be? I call it Suckville, Awesome Town. And there's always a new Suckville, no matter how well you're doing. Here and now is Suckville, and I say it jokingly, but there's always another place you want to be. And I call it, well, we'll do it this way. Suckville here, Awesome Town here, right? And it's important to know where Suckville and Awesome Town is. Suckville is where you are now. You're in Suckville right now.
Yep.
I'm in Suckville right now. And it's not really Suckville, but it's being aware of where you are versus where you want to be and understanding the gap between the two. Those are your bumpers. So you want to learn how to take these tactics that you learned and some strategies and put them into your game plan, into your strategy to get the results you want. You have to be clear about where you are now and where you want to be. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then you have to go reverse engineer and go, what are the things that need to happen in order for me to incrementally get closer to my intended result? That's it. That's a strategy. Now, a strategy is awesome because you have the milestones, but you have to add one more element. And that other element is an action plan. So, okay, the first milestone, what are the things that I might do starting now? What are the 3 to 5 things that I might do today to get me closer to that first milestone? That's your action plan. It's in the context of your strategy, which is in the context of where you are right now to where you want to be. And that's how you take information that you've been given this entire weekend and create a roadmap to get from where you are now to
where you want to be.
Where you want to be. Right? So, now turn to your neighbor and explain in your own words, and I'm going to give you 45 seconds. You should be able to do it in 30. So 15 seconds each. For you, where is Suckville? And for you, where is Awesome Town? As clearly and succinctly as possible. Ready? On your marks. Get set. Go!
Ding, 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 ding.
It's supposed to be an interview.
Hey, rolled it. Whew, I needed that beer.
Yes, sir. Don't repeat what your neighbor said, you cheaters, in your own words. I might need to give him an extra couple seconds. All right, 10 seconds. And time. Now.
Good pickup.
That's awesome. Your AV guys are awesome.
That was awesome.
Okay, so did both you and your neighbor get a chance to explain? Raise your hands. Yes. Okay, raise your hands if you did not both get a chance. Right, be honest. Tell your neighbor to stop talking so much and give you some damn time. Jeez. But in all seriousness, like the structure I gave you was a certain period of time, and I asked you to explain in your own words, and I gave you the amount of time. So what does that tell you about that? What do you need to do? Structure. So you need to go, okay, this is my boundary between the amount of time that I have to get from Suckville to Awesometown. In this case, it's micro Suckville. I have to explain in this amount of time what Suckville is and what Awesometown is. You've got your bumpers. So you explain that in that period of time. And if you don't do it in that period of time, then you've gone outside the lines and you got to figure out how to do it more succinctly, because you should be able to do this very clearly, very quickly, and very effectively. Seriously, this is what it takes. Suckville is not, my life sucks, my job sucks, I hate it. It's what's true. It's what's true now. Here's where I am. Specifically now. That's it. Like I'm in a job working from 9 to 5 and I'm not enjoying it, and I want to go here. I want to be at this level. And what does that look like for you? Specifically, right? I want to be in my business that's earning this much passive income per month so that I can do this and have that, right? That's it. Just succinctly where you want to be. And you have to be able to visualize yourself being there. That's the kind of clarity you have to have. I can't go into S-Smart. I can't do any of that stuff. Hopefully, maybe JT will give you an opportunity to hear what S-Smart is. It's not smart. It's S-Smart. Teasing him. So guys, and that's one of the things I learned as an Atomo too, is sometimes you get set up to fail, but it teaches you a lesson. And the wisdom is not in information. The wisdom is understanding how to apply that information and understanding what mistakes you made so that you can do it more effectively the next time. That's it. Business is a constant, ongoing, everyday problem-solving process. Oh, that didn't work. What might I try differently? Oh, that did work. That's all it is, right? And again, something I want to give credit where it's due. Blair Dunkley taught us what worked, what didn't work, what might I do differently. Actually, write those down. What worked about that, or what worked? 3 things. We call it the 3-2-1. What worked? 3 things. What didn't work? 2 things. What might I do differently? 1 thing. Now, this applies everywhere. Oh, shit, my Facebook ad campaign failed. Well, okay, does that make you a failure? No, it just means that campaign didn't work. Well, what about it didn't work specifically? 3 things. 3 things that did work. What worked? So 3 things that did work. And it's like, well, nothing worked. My ad sucked. It failed. Well, no. Number 1, you set up a Facebook ad. That worked, right? You've got data, right? Because if you don't set up an ad, you don't have data, and you don't understand Facebook. What else worked? Help me out, guys.
Approved?
It got approved. That worked. You got it not approved. What else worked, guys? Or maybe you got a click.
Yep.
Right? Those 3 things worked. So are you a failure because your ad didn't work now, or are you going, hey, what did work? You got 3 things. Now let's talk about what didn't work. Well, my click-through rate might have sucked. What else might have not worked? No sales, right? So those didn't work. Then you take that information and go, what's one thing I might do differently now? That takes you out of, I suck, my ad sucks, I don't know how to do Facebook advertising, to, you know what, this is what business is. It's problem solving constantly. And you teach solo ads, same exact thing. It's a different process, but it's the same evaluation process, because there's always the ability to go and look at what specifically did work, didn't work, and what you might do differently. YouTube marketing, anything that you do, you can look at it and go, what worked, what didn't work, what might I do differently? 3, 2, 1. And you can create ongoing incremental. It's not going to be a straight line growth. It's going to be a little bit of this. If I want to go from this end of the stage to the other end of the stage, what do I have to do? Walk? What worked about what I just did? What I moved from where? From there to here. What else worked? What's that? I know what didn't work. That worked. Right? So that's what business is. And the more you do that, what worked, what didn't work, and again, Blair Dunkley, one of my best mentors, the more I do the evaluation process, I don't have to walk 5 steps before I evaluate. I could walk 1 step and I can go, what worked? Well, I moved forward, but I kind of did it at an angle. Well, what didn't work? Oh, I was at an angle. What might I do differently? I might change the angle, right? So when you said walk, that's what most people do. And what most people do is imagine there's a wall here. They go, I'm gonna make this happen. Oh, you could be my wall. It's cool. No, stay right there. Yeah, no, stand up. Let's do it. All right. Suckville. This is Suckville right here. All right. Awesome Town's past Misha, right? Now, what's the biggest tactic that you teach your people? And I apologize, I was not here this week, and so I didn't hear everything. What's your biggest marketing tactic?
Traffic generation?
Traffic generation. Let's talk about
Solo ads.
Solo ads. Okay. I need to set up a successful solo ads that gets me clicks, that gets me leads, that gets me sales, right? So all I need to do is send out a solo ad, right? That's it, and I can have success. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy the script that I was giving verbatim exactly. I'm going to go to the exact same list that everyone else is going. I'm going to put in there. It's going to freaking work. Here I go. Boom. Misha said it would work because you got these scripts. Scripts are scripts to give you the ability to have a structure. Yep. They're not spoon-feeding you information. That's all they are. But if every one of us took Misha's scripts and we said, okay, solo ad. God, I suck. Let me try it again. Oh, I still suck. That's it, I quit. I'm done. Is that effective or ineffective? So what do I need to do to get around Misha?
Adjust.
Yeah, evaluate it, right? And figure out what worked, what didn't work, what might I do differently, right? Do you understand now, and I know this is supposed to be a damn interview.
No, it's perfect.
But you make a good wall. So
Perfect.
You're like, he's a big dude. So every time I see him, I'm like, damn, you're big. And I really bumped up against you.
Damn, he's smart.
But the point of business is if you keep doing the same exact thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's the definition of
insanity.
Right? And all you have to do really to succeed in business is evaluate and figure out what worked, what didn't, what might I do differently, and just do that thing differently. Yep. And eventually you're going to get closer to where you want to go. And it's not going to be a straight line ever in business. It's going to be this. Yep. If you're evaluating enough, it's going to look like this. And sometimes you're going to go, oh, whoa, I'm on the precipice. Ooh, oh. You're going to go, what worked? What didn't work? What might? And you go, okay, let me try that. Oh, okay. And that's just business. And so if you really want to learn how to be successful, everything that we just talked about, strategy versus tactics, leadership versus dictatorship, I didn't talk about that. But those that master tactics and get really good at them, but don't master leadership, they can have success that looks like this, like I did. But leadership requires skills and behaviors that actually create lasting change and help other people to be successful. To grow a company, where a company becomes successful, it's not about how good the leader is, it's how effective the organization works. It's how effective, if you have outsourcers, it's not, like you have to be able to manage those outsourcers, and you have to be able to paint the picture of Suckville and Awesome Town so you can get them enrolled in what you're trying to do and get them to actually help you do it versus just you telling them exactly what to do, because then everything is on your shoulders. And that's just a fact. I know this is kind of over some of your guys' head. I apologize, but it's really actually a principle that's true in all areas of business. So,
well, remember back to day one, what's one of the super affiliate laws? Never quit. Right? And what did I teach within the context of that lesson? That failure is simply a feedback mechanism. And the only way you truly fail is if you let one of your small micro failures, like Tim's talking about, allow it to go ahead and knock you off your course and bring you to the point of quitting, right? I'd be willing to bet that Tim has experienced some failures in the last month. Am I correct?
Oh, in the past few days, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
just like he said.
Like when Sensei tells you what you did wrong, you put your head down, you go, yes, Sensei. Yes, Sensei. Sorry, Sensei. Here you go, Sensei. Like, seriously, you think I'm joking? Like, that's what I've heard for the past 4 days. And if I could go, well, I'm a terrible Otomo. I can't do this. I can't do it. And I felt like that a couple times. And I was like, well, how do you gain wisdom? How do you gain true leadership and true skills? You don't go, I suck. You go, what might I do differently?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the lesson. And I love what you just said, Misha. You're a master at that. So you remember how I said Misha did it much faster than me? He unconsciously was more competent than me, a lot faster, and that's how he's been able to do what he's been able to do. And it's super, super impressive, my friend. Big hand for Misha.